Adrian, thank you very much indeed. Good evening, everyone. 20 years on from their last triumph, Brazil are ready to lift the World Cup again. Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, Cafu and Roberto Carlos succeeded in Japan and South Korea in 2002. The class of 2022 are ready to follow their lead. Thiago Silva skippers the side, but Neymar is still the poster boy, and he could make the transition from megastar to true Brazilian legend this World Cup, sitting 2 goals off Pele's all-time Brazil scoring record. But do not underestimate Serbia. They are many people's dark horses, spurred on by an exciting forward line that includes Alexander Mitrovic. Can he translate his Premier League scoring exploits into the greatest football tournament on the planet? Here are the two sides. Alisson in goal for Brazil. Danilo, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva and Alexandro. Casemiro and Paqueta, the deeper lying midfield players. Rafinha, Neymar and Vinicius Jr. behind Richarlison. For Serbia, Vanja Milinkovic-Savic in goal. Milenkovic, Velkovic and Pavlovic the defenders. Zivkovic and Mladenovic the wing-backs. Lukic and Gudel in the holding midfield roles. And Sergej Milinkovic-Savic and Tadic in support of Mitrovic up front. Well, we are undoubtedly in line for the biggest crowd of the World Cup so far. 88,000 this stadium holds. There are not too many empty seats. It feels like a Brazilian home game, such as the vast swathes of canary yellow shirts all around this spectacular undulating stadium. You can see it from miles apart as you approach it from the metro, like a giant golden bowl glittering in the distance. And then when you come in, you're overwhelmed by the size of the thing, and we are just about ready to get underway. It is the most spectacular venue here in the Qatari desert, beneath the floodlights. And Dean Ashton, a very happy birthday, former England striker alongside me. I cannot wait. What a birthday present for you, Dean.
Oh, just a bit. Brazil in the World Cup on your birthday. Bucket list ticked. But this is certainly not going to be a walk for Brazil. Serbia are a real serious outfit. They'll be a real test for Brazil. I'm fascinated to see how they'll cope. Or will Brazil just be far too good?
Wasn't it fascinating, that attacking quintet going into a huddle ahead of kickoff? Brazil will get us underway. Those famous canary yellow shirts, blue shorts and white socks. Serbia in all red. It isn't a World Cup without Brazil. The favourites are gunning for an historic 6th triumph, and their campaign starts right here against the dark horses Serbia. The biggest stadium in the Qatari desert, on the biggest stage of all, and it's live on the world's biggest sports radio station. That is Talk Sports. And Brazil playing from left to right here. An early touch for Alexandro at left back, plays it back to the skipper Thiago Silva, and now Marquinhos midway inside his own half. Thiago Silva was caught by Mitrovic, a foul inside the first 30 seconds. Serbia playing from right to left as we look at it. Our commentary position high in the main stand to the left of the halfway line. It barely looked like Mitrovic had set a glancing blow on Thiago Silva there, but Brazil take the free kick and they hit it over the halfway line, and now Serbia have it back and they win a free kick of their own, Dean Ashton.
And expect that. If you're a Brazilian player, you've got to expect physicality. That is what they will bring, Serbia, but also they're not going to let them settle on the ball. They're going to be in their faces, and Mitrovic just said, hey Thiago, have one of those right in the back, just to welcome him to the game.
Wall-to-wall coverage across Talk Sports for the whole of the World Cup today. Switzerland beat Cameroon, also in Group G by a 0-0. We saw Uruguay 0, South Korea 0, and Portugal beat Ghana 3-2 in a thrilling second half. That was how it finished, all 5 goals coming in the second period. Brazil have a goal kick away to the left-hand side. Alisson, all in grey, will take it, very much the number 1. Ederson, his very able deputy. And what noise at the Lusail. Brazilian fans everywhere you look. Here is Danilo in the right back position, clearing high and long upfield. Richarlison won't even make a play for it, headed away by Milos Velkovic, out of play. A Brazil throw down on the halfway line, very close to where the coach Tite is standing. Tite, who has this remarkable record in charge, played 76. He's only lost 5 games, but of course the biggest prize has eluded him so far, and Brazil will feel, Dean, it's eluded them for far too long, the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. Just interesting. I thought that Serbia would possibly sit off. Alisson looking to take a goal kick to one of his centre-backs within the box, and they were nice and high, Serbia, didn't let them play out, made it difficult, they had to go long. It's maybe a tactic they'll look at. Tadic, when they're defending, goes up alongside Mitrovic to almost make a 4-4-2 in a defensive shape.
Early stages, Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Live on TalkSport. The clearance from Thiago Silva under pressure on that far right channel from the onrushing Serbian captain Dusan Tadic, and the last touch off the man in all red, and it's a throw to Brazil in their left back position on the far side. Serbia have not made it out of the group stage as an independent nation at the World Cup. The last time they did it was as Yugoslavia back in 1998. A lot of people saying, though, this could be their golden generation. So often it's a tag that has tripped up nations in the past. Thiago Silva has the ball on his own goal line. High ball floated forward up towards Vinicius Junior with the yellow boots on. Jinks away from two in red. Now Paqueta in the centre circle. Sweeps it wide to the near side of Rafinha. He's away from Pavlovic, the defender. He's got three to him in the middle. Rafinha plays it in low and steered away by Velkovic from the middle of the 18-yard box, away from danger for Serbia. Throw to Brazil, near side of the field, midway inside Serbia territory.
Yeah, and his eagerness, Pavlovic just diving in, didn't need to, should have tracked the run. Instead he went diving in. Rafinha just flicked it away from him. He's just not quite as good, is he, on that right foot, Rafinha, than he is on that wand of a left.
Well, it was interesting. I watched the Brazil press conference yesterday, and there was a question over Rafinha's relatively quiet start to life at Barcelona. No concerns for the coach Tite, absolutely playing any suggestions that he's not at full pelt down. Brazil look very fired up, but Serbia do too in these very early stages. Interception on the far side by Milenkovic, the giant centre-half, midway into the Brazil territory. Square to Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. He's had it whipped off his toes by Vinicius Junior, and Vinicius Junior will dribble up towards the halfway line. Blocked off by Milinkovic-Savic, and the ball goes out of play for a Serbia throw in the end. It must have taken a nick off Lucas Paqueta, right on the halfway line, the near side, the Serbian left. Both Milinkovic-Savic brothers playing today. Sergej, you may well know, the more experienced and the elder of the two, plays his football in Serie A for Lazio. And the goalkeeper, Vanya, the giant goalkeeper at 6'8", making his World Cup debut this evening. And what a stage upon which to do that. It's Brazil 0, Serbia 0 live on TalkSport. Here is Tadic, darting down the far side, the right for Serbia. Mitrovic waiting in the middle for the cross. Tadic, all left foot, twisting and turning, trying to get beyond Thiago Silva. Tadic now does deliver, headed away by Casemiro, right in and around the penalty spot, up to the relative safety of the halfway line, and Serbia have it back. Here's Dean Ashton.
I think just even the eye test, the Serbians, they look like a team of giants. The three centre-backs all well over 6 feet. Obviously Mitrovic, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is big in midfield. Gudel, another physical presence. They're going to be a real threat from set plays if they can get any free kicks or corners against Brazil. That'll be a real test for them.
Well, I think Pavlovic, Dean, is going to get a yellow card here for what looked like quite an innocuous foul on Neymar in the centre circle, inside Brazil territory. Certainly no hesitation from Alireza Fagani, the referee, despite the protestations of Mitrovic. And Pavlovic, the young defender who's very highly rated, only 21 years old, gets a yellow card inside the first 6.5 minutes. And I have to say, the referee set his stall out, as a lot of the referees at this World Cup have done, but it's a harsh booking, isn't it?
It's a ridiculous booking. It was a challenge just made to the side of Neymar. He may have even got a touch on the ball. Yes, he's whipped his legs from under him. There's no way that's a yellow card, and all of a sudden he's going to have to be very, very careful now. We've already seen him dive in once to Rafinha.
Here is Lucas Paqueta, 10 yards into opposition territory, tries to knock it high up the inside right channel. No great rhythm on show on the ball for Brazil just yet. That pass is miles overhit from Paqueta and out of play for a goal kick. There was talk that Fred might come into the starting 11 tonight alongside Casemiro. That hasn't materialised, and Brazil, as we have expected, have gone with effectively 4 forward players, and those three of Rafinha, Neymar and Vinicius Junior behind Richarlison. The goalkeeper, Vanya Milinkovic-Savic, has got a big crowd of Serbian supporters behind him, all in red behind that goal, but it does feel like a home game for Brazil. They have the vast majority of the crowd. Here's Sergej Milinkovic-Savic trying to burst clear on goal, blocked off by Marquinhos of PSG. High clearance to the halfway line. Pavlovic, a clash of heads with Richarlison. The referee hasn't yet seen it. Pavlovic back on his feet. It's knocked out of play by Rafinha, and in the end the throw goes Brazil's way in the right back position. Pavlovic went down holding his head momentarily, but clearly no big problem.
No, I don't think there was a lot there, but just a little glimpse there. He played the ball up towards Mitrovic. He just cushioned the header beautifully into the path of Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, who ran onto it, got past one Brazilian defender and stopped by the other as Neymar somehow takes his own shirt off when it was only...
How did that happen?
Well, it was pulled slightly, so he took it right off just to make the point.
Just to stick it back on, and now it's hanging untucked. That Brazil number 10 on the back of his shirt. Neymar, who is 2 goals off Pele's all-time Brazilian record. Crossfield pass by Velkovic for Serbia, who've made a confident opening to this game. It's still 0-0. Tadic back towards Gudel. Gudel with the ponytail. Crossfield ball high on the diagonal, controlled well by Mladenovic. It's 0-0 live on TalkSport. The tackle from Rafinha rather, and it's out of play for a Serbia throw. Level with the edge of the 18-yard box. We've had 8.5 minutes of play at the Lusail Stadium. A throw taken by Mladenovic. We're north of Doha city centre tonight, as Richarlison neatly off to Rafinha, who's certainly got the pace to burst forward. Pavlovic has to be careful already on a yellow card. Rafinha checks in field, square ball to Neymar, swept to the left by Casemiro, collected by Vinicius Junior, raiding the edge of the penalty area. Lots of red shirts standing firm in front of him. They're a big physical side, this Serbian outfit. Have Brazil got the creativity to unlock them? Great ball, Casemiro. Neymar in the penalty area. Can he twist and turn and shoot? And a tackle by Lukic at the vital moment. Serbia scrambled it away. What a slide rule pass was that from Casemiro. Neymar controlled it, but in the end he was crowded out.
Brilliant, wasn't it? From Casemiro. Really gave the defenders the eyes. Looks as if he was going to play it in towards Richarlison and then reversed it into Neymar's feet. Took a great touch to start with and then just totally crowded out by red shirts. They defend really narrowly when they get towards their own penalty area. Serbia, the 2 wing backs will tuck right in nice and narrow, so there will be width outside of that for Brazil, but right in that centre zone it's going to be very difficult.
The ball is hooked cleverly across to the right hand side by Mitrovic to Zivkovic, attacking the corner of the penalty area, swings in the cross. It's a poor delivery from there, straight into the chest of Alisson. Almost seemed as though he had too many options there possibly, but it was a desperately disappointing cross, and easy as you like for the Brazilian number 1.
Yeah, I mean that's what they aim for, Serbia. As soon as they get the ball, if it can't go into the forwards, they'll look to get it wide as quick as possible, and then they're looking for the delivery for the likes of Mitrovic, and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic will look to run from deep as well.
Well, the crowds have come out for the 5 times World Cup winners tonight. I'm looking around the stadium, Dean, and I can see very few empty seats. There must be 85,000 at least here tonight. Spectacular.
It's Brazil. They have a pull. It's the World Cup. Of course, everyone wants to come out and watch Brazil. And so far, they're finding it difficult. Serbia have been excellent at the start of this game. They don't look like a team that are overawed by the occasion. They're a good side, Serbia. They're dark horses for many.
They qualified in very impressive style. A late winner from Alexander Mitrovic against Portugal to seal their passage to the finals. The ball is with Lukic, and now Velkovic square to Gudel with the beard midway inside his own half of the field. A 1-2 with Milinkovic-Savic. Gudel trying to thread it forward towards Mitrovic in the centre circle, intercepted by Marquinhos. Gudel a little over eager with the pass. It was overhit. Wall-to-wall coverage of this World Cup, and tomorrow we have 4 commentaries for you, but the 2 from Group B to look out for. 10 o'clock in the morning, Wales against Iran, and at 7 o'clock, England against the United States. England will qualify with the knockout stages with a victory, and you can hear both those matches live right here on TalkSport. You don't want to be anywhere else. Here's Thiago Silva, 10 yards shy of the halfway line. Forward pass to Neymar, who's dropped deep into a central position, the number 10, nudges it to the left, and Alexandra. And Serbia happy and content to allow Brazil to enjoy possession inside their own half of the field. There's red shirts sitting relatively deep and defending with a back 5 when they're not in possession. Here's Danilo right in front of the Serbian coach Dragan Stojkovic, and now Rafinha Rafinha, the number 11, back towards the halfway line, and Marquinhos, a square pass now to Alexandro. Further forward is Neymar. On the far side, hugging that touchline is Vinicius Junior. Only really Richarlison in the middle. Vinicius Junior, great pace on the outside into the penalty area. Can he cut it back across? The ball has ended up wide of goal, off the feet, the heels of Zivkovic, and it's gone out of play for the first corner. The corner goes to Brazil, 0-0.
Oh, that was an injection of pace from Vinicius Junior. He just shimmied as if he was going to go back towards his own goal and then just dragged it away from Zivkovic. Pace to burn. He did really well, though, the defender. He really stuck with him.
It was Neymar's corner for Thiago Silva when these sides met in the group stage in 2018. Neymar's delivery, punched over the top by the goalkeeper. It was in swinging viciously, and Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, all in green, was expecting perhaps a cross not quite as close to his goal as that ended up being, and he punched it away one-handed. Another corner to Brazil. Goalless on Talk Sport. We've had less than 15 minutes of play, just over 13 to be exact. A mix of yellow and red shirts behind that goal. Fans watching on, standing up on their feet. Neymar to take the corner once again into the 6-yard box. Goalkeeper takes it well. At 6'8" he should do. And actually there's a Serbia player who's ended up in the back of the net hurt, maybe collided. I think it's Pavlovic who's gone down. The man who was recently booked, it is Pavlovic. And quick word in the ear from the referee, and he's clearly made of stern stuff, Dean Ashton.
Absolutely, yeah, but Vanja Milinkovic-Savic there, the goalkeeper, it must be great as a defensive unit to know if that ball isn't put in at the right trajectory, that he's just going to come and claim and release the pressure.
He's 6'8", he's just about the tallest player at the tournament. You won't be surprised to hear Dean Ashton, former England striker, alongside me. I was on early breakfast on Talk Sport this morning, Dean. I got your birthday absolutely right, just to say. It's like the good old days. The ball is back with Marquinhos, who sends it back to Alisson, has to stretch to clear that. The goalkeeper, it nearly went out of play for a corner. Slice clearance up towards Mladenovic, the left wing back who controls. Midway inside the Brazil half, back to the lip of the centre circle, and Lukic with the angled ball to the right, and Zivkovic. Serbia look a confident team, and why not? And given the way they qualified and given their reputation. It's on the halfway line with Veljkovic, and a square pass to Pavlovic now. Mitrovic making all sorts of runs, Dean, at the moment. He's inside left channel at the moment, and they've found Mladenovic, who plays it back to the halfway line, and Gudel. What have you made of Alexander Mitrovic so far?
Well, I mean, he is isolated. Tadic has got that freedom just to roam and try and pick up difficult positions for the Brazilian defence, but he's up there on his own. He hasn't got his mate Vlahovic there to support him, but he's used to that, and as of yet he's had a couple of nice touches, but yet to have that delivery that he feeds off.
And clearance high up into the dark evening sky from the goalkeeper Milinkovic-Savic. The header from Alexandro bouncing around in the centre circle, nudged forward by Sergej Milinkovic-Savic in the Serbian midfield, and now the ball at the feet of Pavlovic with the red boots on towards the left hand side, midway inside his own half of the field. Milinkovic-Savic nudges it to the far side, and Zivkovic on the Serbian right. The Serbians enjoying a good possession here. It's certainly not been the early onslaught from Brazil that many might have expected with 16 minutes gone. It's on the halfway line with Zivkovic once again. Zivkovic dispossessed by Alexandro, but a foul. The referee blows his whistle. Serbia get the free kick, and I think that Dragan Stojkovic, he's going to be delighted, Dean, isn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, to have Brazil already go into what I would see as their defensive formation, they go into a 4-4-2, and Neymar joins Richarlison, and they're much better defensively than they were a few years ago, Brazil. I mean, they've only conceded 5 goals in the whole of World Cup qualification, which is outrageous, and that's because actually there's players in that side that are willing to work out of possession. Vinicius Junior will do the work, Richarlison, Rafinha, Paqueta, they're all willing to do that work that you need off the ball against top opposition in the World Cup.
A sharp injection of pace from Vinicius Junior, slide tackle, tripped by the 6'5" Milenkovic. Now, if the Pavlovic one was a yellow card, if you're going to play consistently, referee, surely that should be. Here is Neymar dribbling forward. He finds Vinicius Junior, hooked down the inside left channel towards Richarlison with his back to goal. The header infield was poor, and Serbia regain it easily. Gudel wearing number 8. Out to the right-hand side, and Zivkovic, he's under pressure from Neymar, squeezes the pass in field to Milenkovic. That's a risky ball right across his own goal by the defender, but the goalkeeper quick off his line, and here's Mladenovic to dart forward into lots of space, over halfway and into Brazil territory. Steep drop from our commentary position down to the touchline below. Both managers wearing suits tonight, both standing with their arms folded in their technical areas. It's with Zivkovic out on the right-hand channel. The atmosphere was really sizzling and raucous before kick-off. It's quietened down a little now, and it's the Serbia fans, I think, who you can mostly hear at this stage. Mitrovic dropping very deep, crossfield high ball out to the right, the far side, and Zivkovic, he couldn't quite control, with the assistant referee just behind him, out to play for a throw, but Zivkovic applauds the intent of that crossfield pass from Mitrovic.
Yeah, they're starting to look comfortable, aren't they, Serbia? Now in possession, looking to play through. They're desperately trying to get Tadic on the ball. He's trying to pick up positions as Neymar's flung to the floor.
Vinicius Junior gets the loose ball, foot in from Milenkovic. Brazil wanted the free kick much earlier than that. I think they're going to get a throw 10 yards into Serbian territory. Neymar has gone down. The PSG megastar, a curtailed World Cup in 2014, injured, and those accusations of play acting in Russia 4 years ago. Wasn't much contact on Neymar. No, I'm not saying he was play acting there, he wasn't, but the contact was fleeting, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, it was more rugged, wasn't it? The challenge rather than hurtful.
Neymar very quickly back on the ball, but this time he runs into Zivkovic, and the loose pass from Milinkovic-Savic fell to Vinicius Junior. Actually quite scrappy at times this game. Brazil 0, Serbia 0. As we tick towards the 20-minute mark, Thiago Silva of Chelsea, who was very vocal about how he's enjoying the best spell of his career so far, in his own words yesterday. Now Rafinha, right-wing position for Brazil. Neymar's in the middle, so to Richarlison. It's played back towards Lucas Paqueta, 25 yards out, no way through beyond Gudel. Milinkovic-Savic trying to lead a counter-attack. It's shepherded back towards the halfway line by Brazil, and Marquinhos with the dark hair. And Marquinhos will very nonchalantly come out of defence with possession. Simple square pass to Thiago Silva, no red shirt anywhere near him, and Brazil are being allowed to come away with the ball out from their defensive third, and Serbia don't look greatly concerned. Huge throng of photographers before the game, dozens and dozens, here to catch a glimpse of the most eye-catching side in world football, arguably, Brazil. Good tackle by Milenkovic on Neymar. The ball retreats to the halfway line. It's picked up by Alexandro. Darts down the far side, the left, and he sets up Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior, whose pace has already troubled the Serbian back line. Neymar, 30 yards out, shoots! Well blocked by Veljkovic. I tell you what, that was a screamer. Richarlison's gone down inside the penalty area. Cleared away upfield by Pavlovic for Serbia. But Neymar's strike was certainly goal-bound.
It certainly was. It was a brilliant strike, wasn't it? And it was interesting to see Veljkovic, both hands behind his back, just took that full in the chest and needed to be.
Here's Danilo, 10 yards into opposition territory, and now Rafinha on the near side touchline with the sky blue boots on. Pass in field to Danilo again. There's the noise of the Brazilian supporters. 0-0 the score. Neymar nudges it out to the left. The angle pass to Vinicius Junior. The in-swinging cross is on. He goes back to Casemiro. Casemiro tries the drive, and it was initially spilled by the goalkeeper, but he was very quick to pick it up at the second attempt.
Yeah, I think they'll probably get lots of those opportunities, Brazil, because they'll get deeper and deeper, Serbia, as Brazil start to play it around and look to go from side to side, and that opened up beautifully for Casemiro to then take the strike on. You're right, it was a little fumble, but nothing too harmful.
Cleared away by the goalkeeper, high up into the air, high towards Mitrovic, who nods it down cleverly towards Milinkovic-Savic, but Paqueta of West Ham is there to win it back. Still not scored for West Ham United, Lucas Paqueta. This is his debut at the World Cup. Interception from Milenkovic, a pass from Alexandro was a poor one towards Vinicius Junior, and now Serbia can break. Milinkovic-Savic, Lukic looking to the right-hand side, and Tadic, the captain, brings it down, right of centre, midway inside the Brazil half. A square pass to Zivkovic was on, he took too long. Brazil have it back, and here's Alexandro in their left-back position. Forward pass to Vinicius Junior. Long way shy of the halfway line. Only Richarlison in the Serbia half. Vinicius Junior has made up some ground, but Lukic is there to win it back off his toes again. He's certainly the ball winner in that Serbian midfield. Alongside Gudel is Sasa Lukic. It's a very physically imposing team. Just about everybody stands at over 6 foot tall, and a great iron wall in front of Brazil at times, and it's going to be very difficult to break down. We've seen that in a very cagey first half of the first half. Live on Talk Sport from the Lusail Stadium in Doha, where it's Brazil 0, Serbia 0. And what have you made of it, Dean Ashton?
Well, if anyone was in any doubt whatsoever of what sort of side this Serbian team are, already in this game we've seen they are a tough outfit. They're very, very well organised defensively. They've got players with quality on the ball. Like I said, they will be direct, but it'll be with quality. It won't just be looking to hit Mitrovic all the time. They can play as well, and so far Brazil have struggled to find any sort of a rhythm. They've sort of spoilt the game in the right way, Serbia.
Wales against Iran and England against the United States, live tomorrow on Talk Sport. That's a clearance crossfield by Lukic, right to left to the near side, and Mladenovic infield with a pass. Milinkovic-Savic digs it up into the air, and now Pavlovic with a neat flick to Mladenovic. They're not afraid to play the ball out of defence here, Serbia. It's given away though by Milinkovic-Savic, taken up by Rafinha, looking to dart down the right. Pavlovic should see this out. He has just about. Rafinha nearly kept it in play on the dead ball line, applauded by those Brazil fans behind the goal, but it's out of play for a goal kick to Serbia, away to the right hand side as we look at it.
Yeah, if there's been any joy whatsoever so far, it has been Rafinha on this right hand side against Pavlovic. He's quick though, Pavlovic, even for his size. He covers the ground well, but Rafinha's just got that lovely way about the way he dribbles. It's difficult to know whether he's going to jink inside on his left foot or go on the outside.
Yeah, deceptively quick, as you say, Pavlovic, and as you say again, Dean, no great pace from Brazil on the attack so far. Just a couple of flashes from Vinicius Junior up to this point, the Real Madrid man. Alexandro far side forward to Vinicius Junior, wearing number 20, only his 17th international cap, many more to come. You would expect this is again his first World Cup adventure. Thiago Silva, the captain, ever dependable, ever classy on the halfway line. Vinicius Junior controls as a Brazilian flag is waved behind him. They've lost possession, Brazil. Milinkovic-Savic steers it to the right, and Dusan Tadic, he will dart towards the right hand channel, swinging a high cross. Mitrovic goes for it. Alisson will take it high. Alisson took it well, and Brazil survive a nervy moment.
Yeah, it was a good counter-attack, wasn't it, from Serbia? Sergej Milinkovic-Savic with a great turn and into Tadic's feet, who drove down the right-hand side. I thought he might jink onto that favoured left foot. Instead, he tried to stand it up with the right, and it was just too floaty and allowed Alisson to come out and collect. And of course, Mitrovic just gave him a little dig in the ribs. Alisson gave him a little look. Alisson sporting a magnificent moustache at the moment as well.
It is something special, isn't it? Alisson's Movember effort. And Dean Ashton alongside me. Mitrovic with the nudge, just like you, Dean, a number 9. What's that all about? Letting the keeper know you're there?
It's just putting doubt into the goalkeeper's minds, putting doubt into defenders' minds that they can't switch off and that they might just make a mistake.
Still Brazil 0, Serbia 0 in the 26th minute. Here is Vinicius Junior, again the left wing position, again he shapes to glide infield at no great pace, back to Thiago Silva, lip of the centre circle, and now a square pass to the near side, and Danilo steers it back to the feet of Marquinhos. And Brazil again having to be very patient in the build-up. Neymar's made a run inside left channel, and he stick it through the middle towards Vinicius Junior. He can't, he's dispossessed by his opposite number Tadic, who is then sandwiched in between two yellow shirts, and Brazil quickly win it back. It's hit square to Danilo just inside the Serbia half. Serbia with plenty back behind the ball, as has been the case throughout the first half. Now Marquinhos square to Alexandro, long way from goal, left of centre, all of it narrow for Brazil this. Marquinhos sticks it to the right hand side, and Danilo, who had finally peeled towards the touchline. Richarlison's made a run back to goal to the edge of the penalty area. Danilo connects in field, Plays it square to Thiago Silva. Brazil edging forward. Thiago Silva, great ball. Vinicius Junior denied by the goalkeeper. Very quick off his line. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. What a slide rule pass from Thiago Silva. Vinicius Junior got to it. Goalkeeper spread himself brilliantly.
I just think he could have done better, actually, Thiago Silva. It wasn't a difficult pass. It just opened up. They just switched off a second, didn't they? Milinkovic just found himself being drawn out of position on that right-hand side of a back three. He just went out of position. It opened up for Vinicius Junior. Thiago Silva's pass has got to be better, but fair play to Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. He was out really, really quick at the feet of Vinicius Junior to spread himself and make a great challenge.
Two players over a free kick now for Brazil. Far side touchline, a yard infield, level with the edge of the 18-yard box. It's Rafinha and it's Neymar and Thiago Silva and Marquinhos among those forward. Paqueta is there as well. So too Casemiro. So too Richarlison. Best moment of the game for Brazil so far. 28 minutes in and the goalkeepers had to make a real save. 0-0 live on Talk Sport in front of 80,000 baying supporters here at the Lusail Stadium just north of the capital Doha. It's the World Cup 2022. Brazil still yet to really get into their stride. Who will take the free kick? Taken very short by Rafinha to Neymar. Back to Rafinha. Dead ball line. Way overhit the cross. Miles overhit. It's taken one bounce and gone out for a throw.
I mean, I can only think that he's trying to really fizz this across nice and low for someone just to tap in or for a defender to put in his own goal. Instead, he's just got his foot underneath it, and you're right. Woefully bad. Right across the box. Almost halfway up Serbian's half out of play when he was on the byline. Incredible.
As well as Wales and England in action tomorrow on Talk Sport, we'll bring you Qatar, Senegal and Netherlands, Ecuador on Talk Sport 2. Then on Saturday, Tunisia against Australia on Talk Sport 2. Then 3 commentaries on Talk Sport, which I'll tell you about in a moment, as Neymar threatens to bring the ball down midway inside the Serbian half. It's swept away. Saturday at 1 o'clock, Poland against Saudi Arabia. At 4, France against Denmark. And then at 7, Argentina against Mexico here at the Lusail, live on Talk Sport. Lionel Messi's World Cup dream, of course, in trouble. Earlier today, Switzerland beat Cameroon, Uruguay drew with South Korea, and Portugal edged out Ghana in a 5-goal thriller. Cristiano Ronaldo among the scorers. The ball is with Thiago Silva, shy of the halfway line. Just under half an hour played, 0-0. Neymar darting forward, out to the left with the pass from Vinicius Junior. Notches it back to Alexandro. Now here's Casemiro, the number 5, trying to float a ball forward. It's spun off the head of Tadic, who was only a yard or 2 away. Casemiro again, high diagonal ball. Now then, Rafinha heads it back cleverly across goal. Richarlison is in there, headed behind by Velkovic. A Brazil corner on the near side.
And that's where you feel they might get some joy, Brazil. He's just looking to play that cross-field pass from that midfield area, just looking to float it over the top of one of the wide centre-backs. This time it was Rafinha that found himself in behind Pavlovic. Headed it back across again. You can't float it across. It's got to be headed down and into the floor and allow your teammate an opportunity. If you float that up, they're too big and strong, Serbia, and headed it away.
Here they come, those yellow shirts forward for the corner. Rafinha left foot in, swinging, dreadful delivery. Shanked it completely, cleared away by the first man, Mladenovic, under pressure from Richarlison, so Brazil will get another corner and Rafinha will get another chance. Serbia marking zonally. The coach said before the game it wasn't worth doing it man-to-man, too much running. As the ball is laid square by Rafinha to Paqueta, lovely back heel. Rafinha steers it in low, gathered by the goalkeeper at the near post. It wasn't a good cross from Rafinha, despite Thiago Silva stretching a long leg to try and slide it and meet it. And the goalkeeper, Milinkovic-Savic, throws it out over the halfway line. And now maybe they can counter here, Serbia. It's Zivkovic trying to drive forward, blocked off by Paqueta. They want a free kick. Referee says no. Here's Dean Ashton.
Yeah, and rightly so. It was a decent break down the right-hand side from Zivkovic, but when you throw yourself down like that, the referee's not going to have it. Rafinha, he's got to do better so far. He's been the one that's got himself into the game, but his quality's been really, really poor.
Vinicius Junior trying to dart down the far side, the left. The referee had already stopped the play for a Brazil throw midway inside Serbia territory, and Neymar will take it. Brazil yet to bring us that classic samba sparkle. There have been actually relatively few signs of that in the game. Over half an hour played, and Brazil 0, Serbia 0. You're listening to Talk Sport. Ball is on the halfway line with Thiago Silva. Brazilian flag and a Serbian flag hanging from the roof high up above. Spectacular roof. It's with Paqueta inside left channel. Further wide is Vinicius Junior. Richarlison lurking in the middle. But again, Serbia, so many back behind the ball. And Brazil just looking for pockets of space. The 5-time world champions. Neymar tried to flick it through the legs of two in red, and that was a little careless. Lukic slides in firm but fair on Alexandro. Out of play for Brazil throw, and the sort of attitude to Neymar flicking the ball about there from Serbia was we don't really care, you're miles from goal.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they're going to press, aren't they? When it goes into the feet of Neymar or Vinicius Junior, they're going to expect to be tightly marked. And Brazil, though, have had real control in the last 10 or so minutes of the football. It's been slow, but they've had more control, and Serbia are getting deeper and deeper in their defensive position after starting the half well and getting up the pitch.
Outside left channel is Vinicius Junior driving in field. Little flick from Neymar, cleared away. Comes back to Alexandro. He swings in the cross, headed away by Veljkovic from inside his own penalty area. The loose ball bouncing down, and it's collected by Marquinhos. Square to Alexandro. Brazil dominating possession. Neymar 25 yards out, touch heavy, ran into Gudel. Gudel clears to the feet of Milinkovic-Savic, who just stabbed it forward, and it's straight back to Brazil possession. Thiago Silva darting over the halfway line, trying to find an injection of pace. Richarlison's lay off to the near side. Danilo looks up. Danilo crosses aimed at Neymar. Cleared away by Veljkovic again. Mitrovic with a touch back towards Tadic. Serbia can't keep the ball. Alexandro there to win it back once more. Serbia have everybody back inside their own half of the field.
I mean, that's the one thing they haven't got, isn't it? Any pace to go in behind. Brazil have got a really high line. They're on the halfway line almost. So if they do win it back, Serbia, they just haven't got that player that they can just hit in behind, especially against Thiago Silva. If you can isolate him 1v1, but Mitrovic won't do that.
Richarlison held it up well. Rafinha inside right channel, all left foot. Cuts in field, sets up Paqueta, back to Rafinha, shot straight at the goalkeeper. Should have done much better, opened up for him, really weak shot.
Yeah, sums him up so far, Rafinha, in this game. Really poor attempt. It was a brilliant one too, with Lucas Paqueta, who played it back into his path. He got himself into the box, it's on his left foot, he just has to make really nice contact to curl that in the far corner, and it comes right off his heel, takes all the sting out of it, and just into the palms of Vanja Milinkovic-Savic.
03717 223344 later on for the Sports Bar on Talk Sport. You can have your say on the World Cup action today and ahead of Wales against Iran in Group B tomorrow at 10, England against the United States at 7. Commentary of both, as you'd expect, on Talk Sports. Now Danilo will take a throw deep inside his own half. We've hardly been looking to the left, have we, Dean, in this first period so far? Our necks have been craned looking to the right-hand side as Brazil clear up to halfway. Richarlison dispossessed, no free kick. Lukic forward to Gudel. Midway inside Brazil territory. Good little touch by Tadic, almost finding Milinkovic-Savic, scrambled away by Casemiro, and Gudel very quickly in with a challenge on Rafinha, and Brazil have a throw 10 yards shy of halfway, right in front of the coach Tite.
I mean, they're a little bit trapped, aren't they, Serbia, in terms of wanting to be a threat going forward, of which they haven't been yet. Not one shot on goal whatsoever from the men in red.
Neymar running forward, a deflected pass towards Vinicius Junior that trickles into the gloves of Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, and another Brazil attack breaks down.
But they don't want to open up. You know, so far they'll be really, really pleased, I think, with what they've given Brazil, which is very little, and they'll want to keep it that way. But how do you then try and assert yourself whatsoever in the game?
Milinkovic-Savic high and cross-field, controlled by Zivkovic. He's got lots of space to dance into here, the right wing-back. He's 25 yards from goal, sets up Tadic, back to Zivkovic, flicks in a high cross, maybe overhit. Mladenovic at the far post met it with a header, and it's gone behind and well wide in the end for a goal kick to Brazil. But good football and a neat one too, involving Tadic and Zivkovic there.
But Zivkovic has got to do better. It was a really good run. He carried on the run when he played it inside to Tadic, who'd found him, and that's 2 or 3 times now, especially they've been down that right hand side. Mitrovic is in there, he needs that bit of quality, and it just hasn't been there. They've floated it towards the back post instead.
Serbia have it back. Zivkovic infield to Milinkovic-Savic, back to Zivkovic. Gudel Taps it back 5 yards to Lukic, who is in the middle of the Brazil half, dead centre. Now Zivkovic for the giant Milenkovic with the red boots on. Serbia have it in the centre circle. A square ball out to the near side, the left, and Pavlovic this time. Brazil 0, Serbia 0 on Talk Sport. A game of few chances. And certainly not the stroll that some might have been thinking it would be for Brazil. A lot of people, quite rightly, backing Serbia to give them a tough evening, and Serbia have proven that they are a strong side. And they've got a throw deep inside opposition territory in front of that huge stand opposite us, the undulating roofs here of the Lusail Stadium. It's back to Milenkovic on halfway. Milenkovic steps into Brazil territory, plays a 1-2 with Tadic dropping very deep. Tadic back to Veljkovic inside his own half of the field. Certainly not overwrought, this Serbian side, and a number of them played in the group stage against Brazil in 2018 when these two sides met. Brazil were 2-0 winners on the day. And Pavlovic almost running into the tackle of Paqueta, hooked downfield by Veljkovic, hit and hope, nobody there, straight through to Alisson.
Yeah, I mean he's not the best on the ball. Pavlovic said he's coped reasonably well with Rafinha, but when they're trying to play out, he's just let them down a couple of times with his passing.
Casemiro square to Marquinhos, slip in the centre circle, inside the Serbia half, through the middle to Neymar. Quick 1-2 with Paqueta, cleared away by Milenkovic. Paqueta's return ball was not good enough. Neymar collects possession right of centre this time at jogging pace. Serbia, everybody back behind the ball in that deep shade of red, the colour of their kit. Marquinhos turns away from Mitrovic inside his own half. Forward to Casemiro, back to Marquinhos again. Brazil, who qualified in outstanding form once again. They have a long unbeaten run in World Cup qualifying, but certainly determined to end 20 years of hurt in this competition. The days of Ronaldo and Rivaldo and Ronaldinho in 2002 feel a long time ago now. The ball is with Marquinhos again on the halfway line. Forward to Casemiro, steers it to the near side, and Rafinha, good ball, overlapping run from Paqueta. Paqueta's low cross, Richarlison went near post, blocks off by Pavlovic on the slide. Veljkovic will steer it forward to Milinkovic-Savic. Now maybe Serbia can break. Tadic and Mitrovic have both gone to the right. There's nobody on the left for Serbia. Mitrovic has to go to the right full-back position, and Zivkovic, who will send it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Real stalemate about this one at the moment, Dean Ashton. Still 0-0.
And again, it's down this right-hand side, though, isn't it? That's where they've had the joy. There was only one run from Vinicius Junior on the left-hand side. Other than that, it's been all on the right-hand side. And again, a good ball in, but it was actually Milenkovic who came right across from that right-hand side to step in front of Richarlison, who, let's be honest, has been an absolute passenger in this game so far. I can't remember him particularly touching the ball, let alone being involved, and he was slow to that. It was a decent ball from Paqueta across the box. He was idle in his movement, and Milenkovic just came across. You wonder just how fit is he, Richarlison. I wondered whether he would start, but he's got a great record so far for Brazil.
Had that calf problem, didn't he, Richarlison, in October, when he was taken off and in tears at one point, given that leading role today. Here is Gudel for Serbia, 25 yards out, trying to break between the lines. Paqueta, who's been very industrious, gets a tackle in. Now Casemiro, long pass high over the halfway line. Vinicius Junior will chase. Milenkovic, only half cleared. Vinicius Junior, angle tight, and he hits it wide. Right footed, it's behind for a goal kick. Nervy moment for Milenkovic, but Vinicius Junior couldn't take advantage.
No, and he feels it should be a corner. He feels as if Milenkovic has just done enough to get himself back because he made a mistake. He went to clear and he actually hit it against his own forehead, and then Vinicius Junior was away. Felt like he was just about to pull the trigger with the right foot, and in the end it definitely came off the defender, Milenkovic. It definitely took a little skid off the boot of the big defender. Vinicius Junior thought he was in there.
You called it, Dean Ashton. We saw it. It should be a Brazil corner. The vast majority of the crowd here not happy. Cleared long by the goalkeeper to his brother Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, who controls neatly. Mladenovic crosses over the head of Mitrovic, just almost skimmed the top of his forehead. Now, did it come off Thiago Silva? No. It'll be a throw to Brazil in their left back position in the defensive third. We're in the 42nd minute, and Thiago Silva has gone down, and almost as quickly as he's gone down, he's helped back to his feet, and he's okay, the Brazil captain. He was wincing there, but should be able to run off whatever that is, and it's still Brazil 0, Serbia 0 on Talk Sports.
I mean, how much more dangerous did that ball look? You know, rather than it being floated in, if you whip it in with real pace. I mean, Mitrovic actually was probably getting nowhere near it, but actually there was a little bit of panic. Marquinhos and Thiago Silva, just because of the pace of the cross, and they know how dangerous Mitrovic can be. And Thiago Silva left in a heap as Mitrovic fell all on top of him. But that's what it's got to be. I think you've got to find that delivery for Mitrovic, and he will deliver with the finish if you get it right.
That's the voice of former England striker Dean Ashton. Our colleagues from international media sat all around us in the press box. There's the clearance from Thiago Silva to the right back spot. Danilo given away. Gudel, heavy touch, and Danilo able to hammer it high downfield. Neymar will jump with Milenkovic, who was always going to win that battle, the Serbian defender. It's cleared away only as far as Paqueta. Shy of halfway. Infield to Casemiro. On to Neymar. Edge of the D. Skips away from 3 in red. Slide tackle from Lukic. Can't stop him. Here comes Rafinha. Better from Brazil. They're upping the tempo and upping the pace. Rafinha goes on the outside, but then takes the ball too far. And it's gone out of play for a goal kick. Tite, the coach, applauds. A long way down below us, but Brazil still yet to really get into their stride. It's still 0-0.
But the moments that they've had has come when they have really upped the tempo, when they've just put that little burst of energy into their play. Neymar this time just got hold of the ball and zipped away from 3 or 4, played it out to Rafinha. He then moves the ball quickly. In the end, let himself down again on this right hand side, Rafinha, but when they burst into life they look so dangerous.
Long clearance high up the middle from Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, the goalkeeper, and it bounces straight through to Alisson, who has hardly had a kick in the game. Back from Danilo to Marquinhos, and now Alisson again. Ederson on the bench for Brazil, who had a rotation policy for their goalkeepers in qualifying. Weberton, the third choice, also got some football. Alexandra in the left back spot under pressure from Zivkovic, finding Neymar. Neymar very deep indeed. He's given it straight to Milenkovic, forward towards Tadic. Now then, Serbia, can they break? Can they get a crossing with Tadic on that right wing position? It's 0-0. Zivkovic in field to Milinkovic-Savic. Oh, and he very nearly found Tadic in the box with his back to goal. It was just a couple of yards away from his stretch, and it went through to Alisson, who throws it out to Neymar. Neymar darts over the halfway line. Runners in front of him in canary yellow. Neymar looks up, but he can't find Rafinha. Cleared away by Veljkovic. Brazil quickly get it back. Last 30 seconds of normal time at the end of the first half on TalkSport. And still we're yet to see the opening goal. Paqueta, long way out, 40 yards. Left of centre, square to Casemiro. Casemiro has Rafinha calling for possession, arms outstretched. Jinks away from Mladenovic, infield again, and sweeps it to the left hand side on Alexandro. Where are we? Just a minute of added time at the end of the first half. Vinicius Junior, edge of the box, plays it square, steered away by Gudel, and it's with Lukic in the right back position for Serbia. Was he bundled over by Richarlison? Throw goes Serbia's way in their left back position. Yes, a minute of added time at the end of the first half, and all credit to Serbia, I have to say, Dean.
Yeah, they've been outstanding in their organisation defensively. I mean, they've not offered a great deal going forward because of that, but ultimately against Brazil and how good their attackers are, they've stifled them, haven't they? There's just been the odd glimpse here and there, but other than that, what a really good defensive performance so far from Serbia.
Serbia, who would play Cameroon next, and Switzerland in their final group game. Every match at the World Cup live on the network, our wall-to-wall coverage, and a breakfast, and Jim White both coming from Qatar, both shows. White and Jordan with you at 10 o'clock every morning from Doha. And the half-time whistle goes. Thiago Silva punts the ball out of play in frustration, and the reaction very muted from the crowd. 1 or 2 whistles. Brazil really yet to sparkle at the World Cup in 2022. 45 minutes of frustration for their coach Tite, for the 5-time winners. But if you didn't think much of Serbia coming into this tournament, you certainly will now. Stout, defensively very well organised. They look a threat on the break too. This is intriguingly poised. Half-time, Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Thank you, Adrian. And of course they don't want to fare how Argentina eventually did. That was one of the World Cup's greatest shocks. It would still be a huge surprise if Serbia were to beat Brazil tonight. Brazil haven't lost a group stage game in the World Cup since 1998, but this is certainly a Serbia side to be reckoned with on the evidence of what we've seen so far. And Serbia get the game restarted, playing from left to right in the second half. And as the game continues, I promise it is going, we had a few seconds of ABBA there, didn't we? Serbia all in red, playing from left to right.
I quite liked it.
Should we keep it going? And Brazil from right to left towards that huge end behind the goal that is packed with canary yellow shirts. And those yellow shirts of Brazil, the blue shorts and the white socks. Brazil from right to left as Veljkovic sends it back to his goalkeeper Vanja Milinkovic-Savic under pressure from Richarlison. They could be caught out here. Rafinha's won it back. He's on goal. Goalkeeper saves with his legs. What a chance for Rafinha, and he's denied. Seconds into the second half. Now Vinicius Junior crosses. It comes off Milinkovic. Oh, that was so wasteful from Rafinha.
Big chance for Rafinha. What he was thinking. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic there as he dawdled on the ball, the goalkeeper looking to play to his centre-back, who then got robbed by Rafinha. 1v1 against the goalkeeper. He took it out of his feet, Rafinha. Very poor decision. You either take it round him or you try and just dink it, because he'd gone down very early, the goalkeeper, but made a good save.
Well, 2 goals so far in a Barcelona shirt for Rafinha. Is he lacking in confidence somewhat? Well, certainly based on what we've seen from him in front of goal so far, it's not begun well. It's still Brazil 0, Serbia 0. Early stages of the second half on TalkSport. Brazil with Alisson in goal here at the spectacular Lusail Stadium, with Danilo, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva and Alexandro the defenders. Casemiro in front of them. Casemiro tries to whip it to the right-hand side of Rafinha, but the pass is intercepted. Paqueta slightly further forward, and then Rafinha, Neymar and Vinicius Junior behind Richarlison. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic is the Serbian goalkeeper. And they are on the ball now with his brother Sergej trying to steer the ball through the middle. It's cleared only as far as Richarlison. Richarlison on the burst through the middle. Options to his left and right. One back by Milinkovic, and Milinkovic will clear. And Serbia defended that relatively well. Richarlison has gone down and stayed down. And Zivkovic, the right wing back, and finding Tadic with a cushioned header just inside his own half of the field. So the defenders for Serbia are Milinkovic, Veljkovic and Pavlovic, who's changed his boots at half-time to a bright yellow pair. Zivkovic and Mladenovic are the wing-backs. Lukic and Gudel in midfield. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic and Tadic behind Mitrovic up front. And plenty of ammunition on the bench for both sides, but particularly for Brazil, an embarrassment of riches. Laid back by Richarlison to Neymar, midway inside opposition territory. Square to Danilo. Danilo, will he go for goal here? Looks for Paqueta on the edge of the box, back towards Neymar. Crowded out, a sea of red shirts in front of him. It was the wrong pass really from Paqueta there. Cleared away by Lukic, and now maybe Serbia can counter-attack. It's with Zivkovic on the halfway line. And Zivkovic is blocked off by Alexandro. Brazil looking to win it back. The referee says play on, and Brazil have it back. And here is Neymar, 3 against 3. The yellow shirt streaming forward. Neymar at pace, caught by Gudel on the edge of the box. Yellow card. Free kick to Brazil in a very dangerous position here in front of the goal, where there are those thousands of baying supporters. 0-0 on TalkSport. Big opportunity coming up.
You shall not pass, is what Gudel said. Neymar was really bearing down on the 18-yard box. Brilliant little bit of acceleration away from Gudel, and he just hacked him down scissor style on the edge of the penalty area. He knew he was going to get a yellow card. He turned his back to the referee to receive it.
Do they call that a tactical foul, Dean?
Just a bit.
And Neymar has, of course, just ruffled his shirt with the number 10 on the back, and he's gone and placed the ball very deliberately a yard or two from the edge of the 18-yard box. The crowd are on their feet behind the goal. Brazilian flags are being waved. 4 minutes into the second half. Brazil have been flat so far, but can they take advantage from the free kick? 0-0 against Serbia. There are 4 in the Serbia wall, and Zivkovic is lying on the ground below them. Will it be Neymar or will it be Rafinha to strike it? It's set up here surely for the right foot of Neymar, but we'll see. The referee makes sure the wall is the full 10 yards. A couple of Brazil players close by them too, and a sense of great anticipation here north of Doha in the Qatari desert. What can Neymar do, or Rafinha, from this free kick? It's goalless. Referee blows his whistle. He's happy with the wall, just about. In fact, he's telling them to edge forward a little bit now. Neymar's had to wait a long time, staring towards the goalkeeper, and the goal to our left-hand side. Neymar curls it right-footed, and it takes a deflection off Mitrovic. Pat on the back for him. Corner to Brazil.
Probably the biggest wall in the world from a free kick from Serbia.
You couldn't build one higher.
It was ridiculous, and especially when the referee just gave them a couple more inches to move forwards. Always going to be difficult to get that up and down.
Plenty forward for Brazil here. Neymar right-footed in swinger. Thiago Silva went near post, comes down to Richarlison. His shot is blocked. Very congested. Neymar tries to hook it back into the area. Slice clearance away by Mitrovic. There's a Serbian player down in the penalty area. It's gone out of play. Referee's going to stop the game. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic has gone to ground.
Well, I really like the delivery. It was really flat with loads of pace. Allowed Thiago Silva to go and meet it on the full. He just then flicked it towards that back post, and there was Sergej Milinkovic-Savic putting his face in the way, and he's gingerly picking himself up. Bravery from the Serbian to put his head in the way.
Brazil is the chant from the vast majority of the over 80,000 in the Lusail. Wall-to-wall coverage of the World Cup on Talk Sport, including commentary of Wales against Iran tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, and England against the United States at 7 p.m. Here's Thiago Silva on the halfway line for Brazil, and Brazil are dominating possession. And there's been, I think, that injection of pace into this Brazil side in the second half, Dean Ashton.
Well, you would have expected Tite to say that. I think the moments they've had has been when they've upped the tempo, moved the ball quickly and injected that pace into the game. Well, just do it a bit more often then. And if not, he's then got the options to bring off the bench if he needs.
Extraordinary subs bench it is. The likes of Anthony, Rodrigo, Bruno Guimaraes, Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli. Richarlison back to goal, lays it off to Paqueta. Paqueta plays it into the path of Rafinha. What a tackle! Pavlovic sliding in, stretching and timing it perfectly as Rafinha prepared to pull the trigger. Pavlovic was there to clear the danger. Still 0-0.
It was a poor touch there, wasn't it, from Rafinha? It was a great ball across. If he just takes that nicely with his right foot into his path, he's then able to get the shot away. Instead, it just came off his shin, it bounced away. But fair play, Pavlovic on a yellow card stretches those big long legs out to make a brilliant challenge.
And Serbia survive those three giant centre halves, two similarly sized players in front of them. It's a very tall spine to this Serbian team, all the way through to Alexander Mitrovic, and it starts with the 6'8" goalkeeper. At what point in the game, Dean, I wonder, does Serbia, as long as it stays 0-0 of course, come out and show a little more ambition maybe? We'll see. Tadic wearing the captain's armband, tackling with Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva, he's 38 years of age, the oldest Brazil player to appear in a World Cup finals. Here goes Vinicius Junior, raiding down the left hand side, gets to the dead ball line, twisting beyond Zivkovic, swinging in the high cross, headed away, comes out, Danilo on the volley, mishits it, bounces into the ground, headed away by Gudel, and Zivkovic will reach the loose ball. Serbia have given it away, Brazil have it back, and Brazil are flooding forward now at much greater pace than we saw in the first half. Frustratingly for them, it remains goalless, but I wonder for how much longer.
Just how often does Vinicius Junior, when he goes into challenges, he just bounces off it, bounces off the floor almost, just hits the floor and then gets himself onto his feet really quickly and he's away again. It was brilliant on this far side, kept the ball in play and then bounced off another challenge.
Richarlison back to goal, trying to play it into the path of Neymar, but it was a poor layoff and Veljkovic was able to hack it clear. Tite, the Brazil coach, a long steep drop to his technical area down below us. We're high up in the main stand, the upper tier, to the left of the halfway line with a bird's eye view. Tite with his arms folded, and stressed before the game just how difficult this match would be for Brazil. He'll step down after this World Cup. Tite, mentioned that in the build-up, has a fantastic record in terms of win percentage as Brazil manager. But can he lead them to the greatest prize of all? Neymar's pass forward intercepted, cleared by Gudel. A lot of work for Brazil still to do. Alexandro, central position, 35 yards out, wide to Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior, and Neymar hits it wide from 12 yards out on his left side. He ends up on the turf, head towards the ground. Brazil may be getting closer and closer.
Yeah, it's a chance, isn't it, for Neymar? In and around the penalty spot. It was brilliant from Vinicius Junior. He didn't just look to float that cross in. He really did pick out a pass, side-footed it in towards Neymar as the Serbian defence backed away to their own goal. Really clever play from Vinicius Junior, but really poor. As he was falling away, Neymar, and he's looking for that side left foot volley, I think he's gone a fraction early, and he's then just got under it and scooped and spun it away.
Clearance from the goalkeeper for Serbia, high downfield, towering header away by Paqueta. It's lobbed back into the Brazilian right-back position. Danilo climbing this time. The Serbian supporters vastly outnumbered, though there are pockets of red shirts in the stands. Forward by Mladenovic. It took a big touch off Sergej Milinkovic-Savic and trickled all the way through to the goalkeeper. And they're going to make a change here, Serbia, it looks like, very shortly. And it's the young midfielder Ivan Ilic, formerly of Manchester City, who is stripped and ready to come on in Serbian red. And that testament to the Brazil pressure 10.5 minutes into this second half. But it's pressure that has yet to result in a goal. And Neymar dispossessed, fouled though by Lukic, free kick, and it will be a double change for Serbia, I think, here. And Gudel, who's on a yellow card, coming off.
Yeah, that makes sense, naturally.
And it will be Ivan Ilic, his replacement. What an opportunity for the young man, his first World Cup finals, many across both lineups. And Zivkovic is the other man going off, and Nemanja Radonjic, who is a wing player. That should be a straight swap.
I think he's been quite good, actually. Zivkovic on this right hand side, he's been probably their biggest outlet, actually, for Serbia. But obviously it's tiring work chasing Brazil as Neymar.
He's gone for goal from the free kick from 45 yards, and it's an easy take for the goalkeeper.
Ridiculous in the end, because the goalkeeper's 6'8", so
he's a tough one to lob, isn't he, Dean? You're not going to get many over the head of Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. Oh, Mitrovic darting down the left-hand side, might be in here. He's got Tadic to his left, cushion header to find Tadic. Tadic looks up, the substitute Radonjic is at the far post, and it's headed behind by Alexandro. He was lurking there, Radonjic, and Serbia have themselves a corner. You hear the roar of the Serbian fans. Away to the right-hand side, it's still goalless on Talk Sport.
Yes, a good job. Alexandro tracked his man and made the header. But now they're going to be tested. Now they're going to be tested with the set pieces that Serbia are so dangerous with that height we've been talking about.
Serbia have their first corner of the game so far. Dusan Tadic, the captain, will take it. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger. Brazil have virtually everybody back behind the ball. Radonjic went short. Tadic is going to ignore him here and whip it in high to the 6-yard box. Headed away, drops towards the far post, and Alexander Mitrovic further headed clear by Danilo this time. Out of play for a Serbia throw on the opposite side, the far side, beneath the lights here. And Mladenovic is the man who'll take it, and actually the centre halves have retreated back to the halfway line again, Dean.
Yeah, didn't look too comfortable though, did they, Brazil, with that? It was a great delivery from Tadic. Brilliantly whipped in towards Alisson's goal. And the Serbians had pinned him in.
Milinkovic-Savic trying to squeeze the ball infield towards Ilic, who's just come on. It took a couple of deflections, last touch off the Serbian man, and out of play for a goal kick to Brazil. And a warning for Brazil that Serbia can still be dangerous on the counter-attack. These two sides who met in the group stages at Russia 2018. We've nearly reached the hour mark, and actually Brazil's still yet to force the goalkeeper into a really serious save. Neymar's been tripped. There was that stop at the feet of Vinicius Junior in the first half that the goalkeeper made, but a precious little that aside. The block from Rafinha in the second, but again the touch from Rafinha let him down. Here is Danilo, right of centre for Brazil, darting inside right channel. Rafinha on his outside, miscontrolled initially, cuts infield all left foot. Paqueta lets it run across his body. Alexandro, 30 yards out, shoots! Hits the post! It's come out to Danilo, corner of the penalty area, swings in his delivery, over the head of Neymar, drops to Vinicius Junior, left on edge of the box, still 0-0, and he curls it over the top. A thunderbolt from Alexandro, bounced off the woodwork and away to safety.
Oh, well, he puts his head into his hands, Alexandro. It was a wonderful strike, almost reminiscent of Roberto Carlos with the dip and swerve on the strike away from the goalkeeper Milinkovic-Savic, who couldn't quite stretch out that big right hand of his, and it bounced right off the foot of the post. How close.
Great shout on Roberto Carlos. It had that bend, didn't it? That effort from Alexandro, the Brazil left back, playing at his first World Cup finals, but still Brazil frustrated. They've hit the woodwork now. We've had an hour of play. Richarlison, ball up the right-hand channel, too much on it towards Rafinha, who'd made an excellent run. He was away from Pavlovic, but in the end it doesn't matter for Serbia as they win possession back, and it's Lukic midway inside his own half of the field. Square ball to Milenkovic. A team of giants, Serbia, it feels like, and came into this tournament in good form. Pavlovic has to send it back to his goalkeeper. He wants to clear this pretty sharpish Milinkovic-Savic. He's cleared it straight to Danilo, 10 yards into opposition territory. Can't force his way through. On the back pass from Milinkovic-Savic, that's Sergei to his younger brother Vanya. Clears high upfield and away from danger. Now it's with Alexandro again, just shy of the halfway line. Much more pace and energy about Brazil in this second half. Highly fancied, of course. They are top of the FIFA World Rankings, but yet to make the breakthrough. Still goalless in their first Group G match. And Group B, very much our focus tomorrow on TalkSport. Wales against Iran, England against the USA, sandwich in between Qatar and Senegal, and Netherlands against Ecuador, both on TalkSport 2. Casemiro trying to size one up left of centre, 35 yards out. Square pass to Danilo, out to the right now, and Rafinha. Brazil have three in the middle. Rafinha looks for Neymar, heavy touch back to goal. Not like him, cleared away by Milinkovic-Savic, but won back quickly by Thiago Silva. Brazil being urged forward by the supporters here. Serbia camped. Here's Neymar, edge of the penalty area, twisting, turning, angle tight. Vinicius Junior saved, in by Richarlison. Brazil lead. They have arrived at the World Cup, and finally that Samba swagger has made its way to the Qatari desert. What a moment for Richarlison on the rebound, his first World Cup goal, and joy reigns supreme. 80,000 in the Lusail Stadium, incredible celebrations, incredible noise. Brazil 1, Serbia 0.
He has done absolutely nothing in this game, Richarlison. Absolutely nothing other than tap the ball in from a couple of yards out. But he won't care. He's celebrating as he should. It's a World Cup goal for him and Brazil, and he was so alive to it. It was magnificent from Neymar. It got played into him. He faked as if he was going to take the touch, let it roll across his body, and then he was away. And just as he was about to hit that with his left foot, Vinicius Junior came firing in on the left-hand side, took a brilliant shot. What a save from Milinkovic-Savic down to his left. But as every good forward should do, you follow in and you tap it in. Brazil 1-0.
Richarlison, 8 goals in his last 7 internationals now. That will mean more than any goal he's ever scored in his life. And Brazil have the breakthrough, and they lead their opener. And now Serbia have it all to do. When he came into this competition, Richarlison, as Radomljic looks to break down the Serbia right, and Alexandro flicks it away, the head coach Tite in the build-up said Richarlison smells of goals. Well, he hasn't looked like it in the game up until that point. But Dean Ashton, you know, as a former striker, all about anticipation in that sort of situation, and he was there when it mattered.
Absolutely. I'd happily buy that cologne if it meant scoring at the World Cup. And it just shows, doesn't it, what a striker's life is all about. It doesn't matter if you're involved, it doesn't matter if you haven't had a touch, as long as you're alive and aware and just taking that little risk that it might just end up at your feet in the box, then you get your rewards. Years and years and years of practice, you do that as a forward, following in, and you get your reward in a World Cup.
The referee has dished out a yellow card here after a foul in front of the Serbia dugouts. We think it's gone to Lukic. It has gone to Lukic. And listen to the noise now around the Lusail. Brazilian fans waving their yellow and green and blue flags and scarves up into the air. They're here, Dean. They've arrived at the tournament now. They've got that goal. They lead 1-0 on TalkSport.
Yeah, these supporters, that's what they've come for. They've come for a Brazilian goal. But let's not write off Serbia, who are making a couple of changes here. They're a tough team and they won't go away. And will they start to take a few risks now?
Darko Lazovic has replaced Lukic, who's just been booked. And that second change for Serbia has been made as well, and it's Dusan Vlahovic, the man who was an injured out coming into the game, on in place of Mladenovic, the left wing back. Radonjic on the attack down the Serbia left, a tackle from Danilo, and it's Brazil who lead and Brazil who clear. Richarlison plays it back to Paqueta, knocks it up towards the halfway line, cleared away by Vlahovic, and the flick from Pavlovic down the middle, steered away downfield by Marquinhos, and Neymar collects, and Neymar was involved in the only goal of the game so far. Vinicius Junior's shot brilliantly saved by the goalkeeper, but it was followed up by Richarlison, the Tottenham Hotspur player. Back it goes from Lazovic to Milenkovic, gets away from Richarlison, and Serbia have it back. They've got it all to do suddenly, Dean. Can they get themselves back into it? That's the big question.
But it's a change, isn't it? It's the change of system. With Vlahovic coming on, he goes straight up there alongside Mitrovic. It's now more of a 5-3-2 with Tadic allowed to roam in that midfield, but they're opened up.
Here goes Neymar, he's got Vinicius Junior square. Neymar can't get beyond Milenkovic. Still could come for Vinicius Junior. It has. He's into the penalty area. The angle's tight and he slips as he shoots, and he slices it behind. Well, that really should have been a breakaway goal for Brazil. I tell you what, didn't Nikola Milenkovic do well though, Dean? It's gone behind for a goal kick.
Oh, he did so well, because he read it. He read that Neymar wanted to come and go inside to the left-hand side and then cut back again, and he just managed to get there and stick his toe out. It was a gamble, again, to make that challenge with Neymar running through, but he did enough, and then it came to Vinicius Junior and he slipped at the vital moment. But obviously with that change for Serbia, yes, they're going to take a risk and be more open.
Neymar, ever indulgent of himself, has stayed down and has slowly got to his feet. Remember, he took his shirt off halfway through the first half at one point. Now he's back moving again. Remember, Mitrovic and Vlahovic have a great partnership for Serbia, very prolific when they're both in the side. Vlahovic, who has scored 4 goals in 6 starts in the qualifiers, so don't write them off yet, but it's Brazil who leads Serbia 1-0 into the final quarter of the game. Sabilic plays it square to the left, and Pavlovic forward to Tadic. Radonjic making the overlapping run. Back it goes to Ilic once more. Tadic is in the left wing position, deep inside the Brazil half. Back it goes to Ilic once more. Now it's Brazil's turn to defend deep. Radonjic darting down the left-hand channel. Radonjic gets in a good cross, and it's cleared away at the near post by Danilo. Serbia corner. This is where they can really threaten and be really dangerous.
Yeah, he's looked excellent actually, Radonjic, since he's come on. He started on the right-hand side, right wing back. He's now left wing back. He's got real burst of pace. He's nice and direct, and he's looking to get his crosses in.
Plenty forward in Serbian red. It's going to be swung in by Dusan Tadic, and Pavlovic with a looping header over the top and into the front row of that stand behind the goal.
And I think if they can force Brazil backwards and concede free kicks and corners, they are going to look dangerous. Pavlovic didn't quite get a free header there. Thiago Silva just did enough to put him off the header.
03717 223344, the sports bar at 10 o'clock, and you can have your say with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Early today, Switzerland 1, Cameroon 0, Uruguay 0, South Korea 0. Portugal with Cristiano Ronaldo scoring beat Ghana 3-2, and Brazil lead Serbia here with just over 20 minutes to go. Wales and England in action tomorrow. Here's an opportunity for Vlahovic. Heavy touch as he breaks down the right-hand channel. Shove in the back of Thiago Silva, surely there. Well, no, the referee has said corner. Came off Thiago Silva. I thought he was shoved in the back, but referee not convinced.
No, I agree with you. I think there was enough there, just a nudge from Vlahovic. But again, it's another corner to defend for Brazil.
Going to have to do a lot of defensive work from this sort of situation, Brazil here, as the game ticks on. Dusan Tadic once again, left-footed into the 6-yard box, and it's headed away at the near post. Milinkovic-Savic is there, cleared off the line. Vlahovic tries a spectacular overhead kick, and then the shot is hammered over the top, miles wide by Darko Lazovic. But Brazil were really scrambling there. The flicked header at the near post, I think it came off a Brazilian player initially. Pavlovic couldn't bundle it home, and then it was headed back in by Milinkovic-Savic, and right in front of the goal line, Marquinhos got it away.
Yeah, it was Danilo though with the first header. Brilliant header as it was flicked on at the near post to that back post where you just thought, is Mitrovic going to head that in? And instead Danilo just stepped across right on the line to head it away, and then it was an almighty scramble before a shot was lashed up and over the top. But pressure all of a sudden, they've changed. You know, Adrian talked about it at half time. Why weren't they looking to be more aggressive and try and test Brazil? Well, this shape with the two up front looks totally different.
Mexican waves going around the lower tier of the stadium. Here goes Tadic for Serbia, midway inside the Brazil half. Lovely turn from Tadic. Mitrovic now, edge of the penalty area, tries to flick in across. It takes a big deflection. Alisson should prevent the corner, and he does. Maybe Radonjic to the left would have been a better option. Serbia are really starting to open up a little now, but the danger, of course, is that will leave gaps at the back for Brazil to try and exploit. No sign of any imminent changes for Tite and Brazil, Dean, but I'm sure they won't be too far away with just under 19 minutes plus the inevitable load of stoppage time to come.
Yeah, but Tite is just giving his defence some instructions. There's obviously a change with Vlahovic going up there. They just need to adjust slightly.
A great turn by Richarlison. Now here's Neymar, might open up for him. Central position, 30 yards from goal. Neymar waits for the runners. A terrible pass towards Paqueta. Milinkovic-Savic gets it away for Serbia. And now Darko Lazovic with the sky blue boots on, with a pass in field that was well read and intercepted by Casemiro. The game is really stretched. Brazil lead by a goal to nil. Vinicius Junior tried to nudge it in field. It's cleared away by a combination of Milenkovic and Ilic. Taken up by Milinkovic-Savic. He'll hammer it high cross field through the dark night sky, and Danilo will let it bounce across his body and out of play for a Brazil throw in the right back position. And actually, I think Fred is going to come on very shortly, Dean, and that seems sensible.
Yeah, I think with the change, obviously, now Serbia have got three in that midfield area against the two of Casemiro and Paqueta. So Fred will probably go into the middle there, I would have thought, to add an extra body. But Vinicius Junior, I'm not sure if he's struggling with an injury as well. He was down a minute or so ago holding his thigh.
I think a double change possibly on the way, as the ball is cleared by Lazovic over his shoulder, over the halfway line, taken up by Alexandra, who prods it forward to Vinicius Junior. Back now to Neymar, Richarlison and Rafinha on the edge of the penalty area. Vinicius Junior going on the outside, swinging the cross. Richarlison overhead kick! What a goal! One of the greatest in World Cup history! Richarlison with the most acrobatic, spectacular overhead kick. It is a magic moment, a moment never to be forgotten. It was simply brilliant, ingenious from Richarlison. He flicked it up and then overhead kick into the bottom corner, and that was truly magnificent. Brazil 2, Serbia 0.
This is an absolute work of art, and it's Richarlison's masterpiece in the World Cup. The opening game, the ball from Vinicius Junior with the outside of his foot into his path, and he just flicks it up and then produces the most outrageous, acrobatic overhead kick into the bottom corner. Wow, that is unbelievable.
We're watching it again on our monitors. I don't believe what I've just seen, Dean Ashton.
It's special. It's a goal you dream about when you're a kid. I'm sure Richarlison will have practiced that in his native Brazil many, many times as a child, and all of a sudden he's produced it on the biggest stage, and it just always looks absolutely spectacular.
Well, surely the greatest moment of his sporting life. Fred for Lucas Paqueta is the change. We've seen a World Cup goal that will be remembered for years and years and decades to come. Richarlison has lit up Qatar 2022. There's no doubt about it. And Rodrigo is going to come on for Brazil as well, as Fred replaces Paqueta, who gets a big hug from his manager. Now, will Richarlison stay on? He will. And Vinicius Junior goes off. Reaction from the Brazil supporters tells you everything.
You think about it. He's not been in the game at all. And then he gets that first goal with a tap-in. And all of a sudden, he grows as a player. He grows as a forward. It happens. The confidence grows. The ego grows. And then all of a sudden, then when it comes into you, in the box, you're able to do something like that. Oh, it's wonderful.
It shouldn't have been possible. The artistry and the technique from Richarlison. The goalkeeper was berating his defenders, but it was the most spectacular clean connection. It's 2-0 to Brazil, 14 and a half minutes to go. You remember this birthday, Dean Ashton, that's for sure.
What a lovely little present for me from Richarlison. Thank you very much.
You could watch that again and again. And we will, and you will, I'm sure. Here is Veljkovic for Serbia, midway inside his own half. Well, they competed so well, but they're surely beaten now. 14 minutes to go. Crossfield pass given away. Rafinha's there to pick it up. Forward to Richarlison on a hat-trick. Danilo, like an express train down the right-hand side, floats in a high cross. Rodrigo, is he going to drop for him? Headed away by Milenkovic. Out to the near side of the field. The official attendance is 88,103. Easily the biggest official crowd at this World Cup. I have to say, there actually aren't too many empty seats, so that must be quite close to the actual figure. Brazil with Rodrigo. Forward to Neymar. Back down the near side, the left to Rodrigo. Attacking the edge of the penalty area, looking really menacing now. Rodrigo twisting, turning, slide tackle from Milenkovic. Comes out to Casemiro. His drive was blocked. It's going to spiral out of play. And it's going to land just shy of the corner flag and a Brazil throw. Just trying to run through my head, Dean Ashton, some of the most memorable World Cup goals that we've seen over time.
It's going to be up there, isn't it?
Got to be.
It's incredible as well, isn't it? There's like a strange sort of calmness now gone around the stadium. That's such a lift of adrenaline for everybody in awe of the goal. And now it just kind of rests again.
Heavy touch out of play from Dusan Vlahovic. Brazil are going to make another substitution here, it looks like. Now, is that Gabriel Jesus down below us? It is Gabriel Jesus, who has been such an effective, transformative figure at Arsenal. Even despite his lack of goals, there's so much more to his game than that. Now, will it be a straight swap for Richarlison, I wonder? Or will he be allowed to stay on? Oh, he is going to come off, Dean. Well, he won't get the chance to complete his hat-trick, but he will get a standing ovation at the Lusail Stadium after producing a moment that he'll remember all his life.
Exactly. I mean, for those that will have seen the video of when his name was read out to be in the Brazilian squad, you saw what that meant to him. Imagine the feelings he's got now after what he's just produced in this opening game for Brazil. I can only imagine what a goal he has produced. Absolute magic.
Well, there is concern for Tite, because look at Neymar receiving some treatment at the moment, almost directly down below our commentary position, so the game has been stopped, and the Richarlison stunner has taken really all of the jeopardy out of the match. Brazil are surely going to win it 2-0 up with 12 minutes plus stoppage time to go. We'll have a lot of stoppage time at this rate. We're watching it again. He's got his back to goal inside the penalty area. He swivels, he just connects with it perfectly. Dean, tell me about the technique in that goal.
I mean, what's so great is that touch that he takes to start with. So he just lifts the touch up to size it then up. He then uses his left arm to start the movement. His left knee follows, his left foot follows, and then he drags both of them out of the way to allow that brilliant right foot of his to just arc its way through and connect beautifully with the ball with power and precision. past the goalkeeper. If you wanted to write a goal you'd love to score, then that would be right up there.
Brazil 2, Serbia 0 on Talk Sports. They made another change, Brazil, and it's Neymar taken off, presumably as a precaution. Antony has come on. Here's Rafinha darting down the far side. Danilo is racing forward on the overlap, pulls it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Could come here for Rodrigo in the box. It's scrambled away by Serbia. Brazil looking to finish with a real flourish now. It's Gabriel Jesus with his back to goal. And here is the first touch for Antony of Manchester United with his dyed hair. Clipped forward by Alexandro, outside left channel towards Antony. Great weight on the pass, and Antony couldn't control it, and wasn't helped that a sliding tackle from Lazovic came in, and it's gone out of play for a goal kick. 10 minutes to go. I mean, we come to football to watch goals like that. It's just an amazing privilege to be able to see that sort of spectacular strike, a 1 in 1,000 type of thing. Header by Mitrovic, and Serbia have it on the halfway line. Serbia going to make a change again very shortly. Gabriel Jesus has held it up well for Brazil. Taken up in the middle by Rodrigo. Sits it wide to the far side, and Rafinha onto his left foot. Sliding tackle. Only goes as far as the edge of the box, and Casemiro curling one! Hitting the crossbar! They've hit the woodwork twice in the second half, Brazil. Nearly a perler from Casemiro this time. And they're flooding forward and looking like scoring at every opportunity. This is the Brazil we all came to see at the World Cup. Live on Talk Sports. Dean Ashton.
It's just pure entertainment now, isn't it? It really is. You can just sense any of the nerves or tension that the Brazilian players were feeling up against this tough Serbian side. It's all gone now. The freedom of the flair is coming out. It's a brilliant effort from Casemiro.
Rodrigo shoots, pushed away by the goalkeeper. They are raining shots down now on Milinkovic-Savic's goal. Rafinha's led with the edge of the box. It's attack v defence at this point. Serbia have wanted to make a change for about 10 minutes, it feels like, but they haven't got possession and they haven't knocked it out of play, so they can't. Danilo right of centre, out to Rafinha. Fred has made a forward run. I don't think anything of Fred on the ball just yet. Here he is now, back to goal, spinning, turning, through towards Gabriel Jesus. He's got the pace. Milenkovic did enough to shrug him aside. It's through to the goalkeeper, and Dean, does Serbia just want to avoid any further damage now?
Yeah, I think so, but they're difficult to stop now, Brazil, because they're just in full flow. Milenkovic did really well there, actually, with Gabriel Jesus trying to make that run down the side of him, but they've just, they're shell-shocked, aren't they, Serbia? They were in the game, and once Richarlison got that first, and then you're in awe of the other.
Casemiro forward to Fred, left-footed effort, and pushed away by the diving goalkeeper again. Serbia are suddenly so exposed, and it looks only a matter of time before Brazil add to their lead. Mitrovic is going to come off here, and Nemanja Maksimovic, who is a defensive player, is going to come on. Serbia eventually have been well beaten here, no question about that. It's all about keeping the score down from this sort of position. Brazil have a corner that they take short to Antony, led with the edge of the 18-yard box, back to Alexandro, out wide to the near side, and Antony again. Antony thinks about a cross, plays it infield to the near side, and the run of Fred, and now Alexandro steers it square to Danilo. Danilo is a long way from goal, forward to Rafinha, 10 yards from the edge of the box. Serbia camped behind the ball, dinked in by Danilo, punched away by the goalkeeper, punches it all the way to the halfway line, and actually the flag is up. Serbia will get themselves a free kick, 6.5 minutes to go, and it's Brazil 2, Serbia 0. 2 goals for Richarlison, the first a poacher's effort, the second probably the goal of the tournament already.
Well, I mean, you think there was hardly an effort really in that first half, and all of a sudden now Brazil are up to 19 attempts, and most of those have been in this second half and in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Here's Radonjic starting down the left for Serbia, though. Can he get a cross in? Very few Serbians in the middle, and Radonjic, well, I think he tried to play it off Danilo, but it came off his boot and goes behind for a goal kick. And coach Stojkovic has taken off his jacket now, his arms are folded, and Serbia will move on. It was always likely to come down to the games against Cameroon and Switzerland for them. Antony's been dispossessed, and Milenkovic goes for goal, and it's blocked. Takes a big deflection. Alisson cannot prevent the corner. Brazil want a clean sheet. They actually have a very good defensive record for all of their attacking prowess. They have a good defensive record under Tite, the coach. They have actually sent the centre-halves forward here, Serbia. Maybe there is still a chance for them, who knows? Seen all sorts of drama at times in this World Cup so far. Out-swinging corner up towards Pavlovic, flicked away by the head of Marquinhos, and swung back into the penalty area by Darko Lazovic, but it was a poor delivery. Alexandro was there, and now Brazil are on the burst towards the halfway line. Antony has slowed the game down and sends it back to Alexandro. 5 minutes to go. There'll be a lot of stoppage time, as always seems to be the case in these World Cup games so far.
Could be a magnificent moment for Martinelli. I think that is down just near the Brazilian dugout, looking like he's getting some last instructions.
Yeah, you're right, Dean. It is Martinelli. It'll be his 4th ever cap for Brazil. Well, here's an opportunity for Gabriel Jesus. Onside, broken between the lines there cleverly. He is down to the dead ball line, Gabriel Jesus. Twisting, turning, crossing in low. Velkovic clears, and further away by Pavlovic. Came back down to Fred. Danilo infield to Marquinhos. Marquinhos has Casemiro calling for it square. Now Antony. You never want to peak too early on in a tournament, of course, but Brazil have shown in this second half certainly much more of what they are about. And Antony has not met the defender. He's pulled it back, opens up for Rodrigo to curl one, and it's over the top again. And actually, Brazil have been quite wasteful since scoring the second goal.
Yeah, they've looked for that far corner a couple of times. Casemiro hitting the crossbar. I think Vinicius Junior put one wide, and now Rodrigo. It was great play by Antony. Played the ball into him on the edge of the box. He let it roll across to his right foot, looked to play it to that far post, and in the end just got it slightly wrong. But it's just been so easy since the goal for Brazil to get into shooting range.
High fives and hugs for Rafinha, and Gabriel Martinelli will come on to make his World Cup finals debut. He wasn't in the squad for September's friendlies in the build-up, but his super campaign for Arsenal has got him into this position. And a brand new front four, Dean. Lots of depth for Brazil, but it is a very exciting prospect for them, no doubt. As Danilo clears downfield, headed forward by Ilic for Serbia, nodded away by Danilo again. 3 minutes left. Brazil 2, Serbia 0. Wales against Iran, and England USA tomorrow on Talk Sport. 03717 22 334 for the sports bar to come later on. It is with Martinelli hugging the near side touchline, looking to drive forward as he likes to do, that direct quick play. His teammate Gabriel Jesus in the middle plays it square towards Jesus, and it just evaded him, steered away by Pavlovic. Would have been an important goal that for Jesus. Brazil are just carving out chances at will though at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the midfield players can't get near anyone, and it's just what you want, isn't it, when you're 2-0 down and they're creating chance after chances. They then bring on the youthfulness of Martinelli and Antony, Rodrigo, Jesus. It's desperate to make their mark in this World Cup for Brazil.
Pavlovic squatting down on the turf for Serbia. He should be okay, it looks like. Wall-to-wall coverage of this World Cup. Breakfast back tomorrow morning, and White and Jordan will bring you live from Doha. It's only a half clearance away from Fred, from midway inside his own half. Gets to a turn from Casemiro, onto Rodrigo, back to Fred. Brazil coming forward with ever greater fluency as quick as the minutes go by. Antony looks for Danilo. Gabriel Jesus in the middle. Danilo swings in the delivery, and it's headed wide by Martinelli, coming in at the far post. That would have been a golden moment for him, but he, whilst he connected with it, sent the ball well wide, and I think there was a free kick. Maybe there's a shove in the back from Martinelli anyway.
I think so, but we've seen that more in this second half, haven't we, that the fullbacks have got involved now and again. Alexandro and Danilo has pushed forwards and joined in the play and overloaded the wide areas for Brazil against Serbia, and it's worked.
Took them a while to get going, took them a half to get going realistically, but much better in the second period. Antony down the right hand side He's got Fred, his Manchester United teammate, just ahead of him. Fred controls, 10 yards from the corner flag, back towards Anthony, smuggled away by Serbia. And Fred will steer it all the way back to halfway, and Danilo. It's the Brazil we thought we would see, Dean Ashton, and have they convinced you in the second half?
Yeah, they have. They've been excellent since the goal. It's just like the release of any tension they had in that first half was gone. They then started to show that flair and creativity and energy, and the movement was great. And it was just too much at the end for Serbia, who had put up a valiant effort, but we're watching a special team, and rightly so. We can see why they're favourites.
7 added minutes at the end of the game. The usual flurry of minutes, injury time because of substitutions and a couple of goals, and they're clamping down on time wasting too. Tadic is 20 yards into the Brazil half, exchanges passes with Milinkovic-Savic. Ilic out to the left-hand channel, and Pavlovic, the big central defender. Back to Tadic again now. Brazil, everyone back behind the ball, and I'm sure Alisson and his defenders are determined to keep a clean sheet. Forward by Veljkovic, high, crossfield. Now that's Radonjic, who has brought it down in the left wing position, but Anthony defending diligently. Radonjic very much in a crossing position here, though. He's got to the dead ball line to swing it in, headed away by Marquinhos. Anthony will try and control. It's bounced off him last there, I'm sure. We'll throw in, says the referee, to Serbia, who is still trying to seek a goal here. Milinkovic-Savic pops it down the left-hand channel, inside left to Tadic, who hangs up a high delivery. Alisson flaps at it. It'll come down on the near side of the field towards Milenkovic. Milenkovic down by the corner flag. Little unconvincing there from Brazil's goalkeeper, but it has gone out of play for a Brazil throw, and Alisson heading towards a remarkable, it would be a 39th clean sheet in 58 Brazil caps. That, even by his standards, is amazing.
Yeah, that's outrageous. I think it shows as well how they've changed, how they've evolved under Tite. I think the shock of what happened in Rio when Germany put 7 past them, I think opened their eyes to the fact that they have to defend as a team, and we've definitely seen that in recent years. They've become a difficult team to play against and score against.
Great flick by Gabriel Jesus, and Martinelli is onto it, blocked off by Pavlovic. Gabriel Jesus gets the loose ball, steers it to the left-hand side. Martinelli, Rodrigo is waiting in the middle. Martinelli back to Gabriel Jesus through the legs of the defender. Rodrigo was calling for that for ages and ages, didn't get to it. Brazil 2, Serbia 0. We are 2 minutes through, 7 added. Remember, Wales against Iran tomorrow from Group B at 10, and England against the USA at 7 p.m. Saturday we're back. 3 commentaries, including France against Denmark on TalkSport at 4, and 7 o'clock Argentina against Mexico. It'll be here at the Lusail Stadium. And Lionel Messi and co under great pressure. It's been in a World Cup full of all sorts of stories and excitement so far, hasn't it, Dean, I think?
Oh, it has, yeah. I mean, it happens in every World Cup. There's shocks, there's surprises, there's wonderful goals, and like you say, what a privilege to be here to witness one of the greatest from Richarlison.
The stands are starting to empty now. Empty white seats appearing here. Alisson will clear the ball downfield. We've got 4 minutes of added time to go. Steered upfield by Veljkovic for Serbia. What of Serbia, Dean? They have 2 what they will consider to be winnable games to come. They've faded obviously since the second, but acquitted themselves well.
I think they've shown that defensively they can be very organised. I think against the other 2 teams in this group, I think we'll see more of their attacking play. I think they'll exert themselves a lot more in those games, but it's been difficult, of course, against a fantastic Brazilian side, and they've just not been willing to take enough risks in their attacking play. And by the time they'd brought on Vlahovic alongside Mitrovic, Brazil made it 2, and then it was all over.
Tite, the coach, still striding up and down inside his technical area. We dream to be the winner of the World Cup. he said before this tournament started. Here is Rodrigo racing down the left-hand channel. Gabriel Jesus calling for it in the middle. Not a good ball by Rodrigo, cleared away easily by Pavlovic. 4 through the 7 added now. Brazil looking for a third goal. Marquinhos looks for Anthony. Now Danilo. Been some really good performances from Brazil all over the pitch. Marquinhos and Thiago Silva have looked so rock solid. It defies belief that Thiago Silva is 38 years of age. Plays like a 27-year-old in his prime.
Stop looking at me when you say that. I know that I'm only a year older. Yeah, he looks fantastic, and he just reads the game so well.
Martinelli lays the ball to the edge of the box, cleared away, and good dummy by Radonjic, the substitute in the left wing-back position, to let it run across his body, and now he's got it back. And it's a throw to Serbia on the far side of the field. Big day at the World Cup again. Switzerland won, Cameroon 0 earlier. A goalless draw between Uruguay and South Korea. It's been the evening matches where things have really lit up. Portugal 3, Ghana 2 we brought you earlier. And now Brazil leads Serbia by 2-0. Long ball floated forward towards Vlahovic, and he's gone down at the challenge of Thiago Silva. Nothing given. Vlahovic, the referee has just stopped the game. Vlahovic, who has had some injury issues coming into the tournament. The referee just making sure that he's okay. He limps to his feet. He's had a groin issue in the build-up, Dusan Vlahovic. That's the noise of the Brazil fans again. Richarlison's come up on the big screen and they're applauding him. There's a Brazil supporter applauding a replica of the Jules Rimet trophy. They've got their hands on it 5 times before. It's been 20 years of hurt. Will all things change this winter? High ball forward up to Gabriel Jesus, who's adjudged to have fouled Pavlovic. So effective with his hold-up play, Gabriel Jesus.
I think he surprised me this season playing for Arsenal. Just how physical he is, how well he uses his body, how well he reads the flight of the ball and gets himself into a great position to receive the pass.
Ilic scampers forward for Serbia towards the halfway line. 20 seconds to go now. Time is nearly up. Still those Brazil fans massed behind the goal to the left-hand side. I think there's a drum behind that goal. You can probably hear it. Vlahovic skips over the halfway and he sweeps the ball towards the left-hand channel, collected by Ilic. Ilic with the angled pass out wide. The final whistle does not arrive as the shot is driven in by Radonjic. That was somebody in the crowd. That's definitely the final whistle. Brazil's World Cup campaign up and running. 2 decades of hurt. Will that end in the Qatari desert in 2022? It was a flat first half, but in the second period the signs were very good indeed. Richarlison scored twice, the Tottenham Hotspur man. His first goals at a World Cup. The first, a simple tap in a poacher's goal. The second, one of the greatest I think we've seen at these World Cup finals. The most extraordinary overhead kick. Serbia battled gamely, but wilted after that. It finishes on TalkSport. Brazil 2, Serbia 0.